So, ladies and gentlemen, audiences worldwide listening in, watching the Jena FullDome Streaming Festival with the Frameless Forum on the second day, May 15th. I'm very happy that among the people that I'm really grateful that we can introduce to the audience is now Michael Gandham. He is a filmmaker and animator out of the northeastern part of England. Michael Gandham, can you hear us? Can you see us? Can you just say hi to everybody?
Yeah, you're coming through. Hello, Jena. I've dressed up specially for the occasion.
Okay.
When I was last there in 2018, I was a bit scruffy, so now I'm wearing traditional Indian clothing for you.
Okay, wonderful. Now, when you came to Jena, you brought a film that actually won an award, and which I particularly liked because it is a film that is, I don't know, the genre is something like metaphysical science fiction. It's based on the book by Olaf Stapleton, Starmaker. I hold it into the camera. If you audiences don't have it yet, get it. It's worth reading. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-altering. And it's been beautifully put into a 360 movie by Michael Gandham. So, Michael, that was 2 years ago, I believe. What happened since? What happened since? What's happening now with you, with your passion for 360 immersive media and your life in the northeastern part of England?
Well, since 2018, since Starmaker, my passion for FullDome was really infused by coming to Jena and meeting all the lovely people. As you say, I work in animation and film and television, and the thing that struck me with FullDome folk is how lovely you are and friendly. That was fantastic. So since then, the reason I made Starmaker, it was an experiment to see how we could tell narrative stories in FullDome. Starmaker, like you say, Mickey, is an amazing book, and it's got relevance to things that are happening today, politically, socially. The advantage of it with FullDome is that it's a first-person narrative perspective, even though that first person becomes the whole universe. So what I wanted to do after Starmaker was to play with narrative a little more and compare cinema and TV to FullDome and the ability that cinema and TV has with regards to visual language, try to transfer that over to FullDome and try to sort of kickstart a visual language toolbox. So to do that, you need money in order to concentrate on things. So the UK government had a small fund available. With that fund, we got some money to create a new piece of software that enables creatives to access FullDome a lot more easily and simply. I can talk about that a bit later. Secondly, alongside that, for us to experiment with the FullDome art form or visual language art form and the potential for narrative storytelling in there. For me, we had to experiment early on to see what the potentials were. And when I came into FullDome, I realized that there was such a thing as FullDome. It struck me that it felt similar to what I imagine 100 years ago, 110 years ago in cinema was like, where there are no rules quite yet. Lots of people are experimenting, but there's nothing that's pulling it all together. It's a bit of a Wild West, which is exciting. It means there's potential there. And I really wanted to run with that. So because I was looking back there, I thought, how can we experiment? How can we experiment and compare and contrast the visual language techniques from film, put them into FullDome? With film, we tell stories using continuity editing. So for me, that was the first thing. With FullDome, it's immersive. You can't chop and cut between the same film location. So how do you deal with that? And one thing we came up with was to look at the work of Sergei Eisenstein. I've always been on Sergei Eisenstein. I've always been a fan of his work. So we looked at the ability, we looked at his experiment in montage and collage, placing two separate images within the same screen to create poetic montage.
Mm-hmm.
He created meaning by clutching two images together. So I thought we could do that in Dome. It doesn't require cuts or edits, but the ability to create meaning from putting two images together.
Yeah. So, Michael, if I can just add to this, I think it's very important what you mentioned, that in Dome right now, in this still very young medium, there are no rules other than the ones that you make up as you go along. And so that means the narrators, the experimental people, the science educators, the psychedelic folks, the philosophers, the cosmic dancers, they all can just put their chip on the table and see and compare what makes sense, what really makes a good equation and a worthwhile experience in the Dome. So I think narration, which is something that you stress, is key to everything. And then, of course, we are very excited to see what a toolbox you may come up with that helps FullDome creators to find an effective pipeline for their production process in order to just accelerate and intensify the whole FullDome experience on the production side and on the perception side.
That's it. The word acceleration there, I think, Mickey, is key for me. And I totally agree that bringing all of those different people with different mindsets and different experiences, that's the exciting thing about it. But it's how do we accelerate that? And one of the barriers to that accelerating is, for me, the difficulty in accessing FullDome as a creation medium. This is what we found with Starmaker. It took a lot of work. We had to build relationships with the local planetarium in order to test the work. And then the conceptualization of something immersive when you're used to flat screen work is something different. So for me, I can't really talk about the software we made too much because it's nearly finished, but it's not quite for commercial release yet.
It's okay to keep us excited. You don't have to spill the beans.
But what I wanted to do with that is enable easy access for all of these people that you mentioned, Mickey, to be able to jump in, and then we can hopefully accelerate the content that's being created, and that dialogue can be had, whether it's a dialogue of just viewing and taking in other people's work or directly talking with each other. I think the only way the medium will move forward is with more people. If we're open and we invite more people to make more work.
Great. So I think we are looking forward to grow, to intensify, to solidify, at the same time to experiment in 360-degree and find the forms that excite the creative imagination. And I'm so happy that the Jena FullDome Festival, now in its 14th year, we could just sort of see it through like a looking glass to see these evolution grow and expand. And it looks like you are onto something that will help the, as you mentioned, acceleration and deepening of the experience. Are you right now on a I mean, how could that broadening experience be? How could more domes be accessible to more people and more audience? How do you think that will work?
Well, you broke up a little there, Mickey, but I'll interpret what I think you said. how can we push things forward? Is that what you said, Mickey? The signal broke there a little bit.
Basically, yes, and so the lines aren't broken, but our hearts aren't broken. So just say what you think is summing up the rap.
Well, I think, like I said, doing what we can to encourage more creative practitioners to engage with the medium, whether that be for me, animators or theatre practitioners or live action filmmakers and actors and everything else. And for us, we're actually making a new piece of content at the minute based on some of the experiments that we partook in. What we did, I've written quite a lot of scripts for FullDome since 2018. But what we've decided to do is go for something family friendly to encourage a broad audience in. Once kids are involved in characters and stories, I think the parents can get involved as well. So with this family-facing FullDome film that we're making, that's based in 1700, the 1700s, mid-1700s in Lisbon. And there's a bit of a twist at the end, so I won't go too much into it, but it's an explorer regaling stories of his adventures and the strange creatures that he's met to his daughter. And like I say, there's a twist at the end, so I don't want to give it away. But yeah, I think encouraging people that, for me, looking at things from a narrative storytelling point of view, encouraging people who tell stories and create stories for a profession, encouraging them into the FullDome medium could be a way forward, because they can then open the doors to further financing and further exhibition.
Great. I think this is...
Because it's about audiences.
Before the line gets even weirder than it is now, I think you've made a beautiful closing statement. It's opening the doors of perception and opening the door to really good finances, and artist revenue is really important. And when I hear the little hints about your upcoming story, I hope that in the next Jena FullDome Festival, in the merry year of 2021, we'll be able to see the premiere in the Jena Festival. I mean, Lisbon in the mid-700s, there are some dramatic and turbulent occurrences that come to the mind, and there are these amazing explorers. So I love to be surprised by your work. Thank you for taking time out. Keep being creative and ambitious, and hope you get the funds for all your projects. And so for now, I'd say goodbye and say hi to Newcastle in the wonderful north and east of United Kingdom, close to the Scottish border, with people that have such a lovely accent that we just heard talking. And so see you soon, Michael.
See you soon, Mickey. And everybody, come and visit Newcastle when the lockdown's over.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. Take care. Bye.
See you later, guys.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.